once, I'm not gonna use burning finger with the left hand. This time, I jumped from the right side of temple, facing the right side of the temple, with Captain Falcon all the way
You
to the
too
left side
was
of
happening
temple
was
with a
shaking.
I
Falcon
made a
punch
middle
through him.
finger over
Welcome
the
back to
scam.
the Royal
Busted both of
Archives.
y'all.
Today I've got the Souls-like game, Another
Game, you
Crab's
should
Treasure.
always.
I played through this game in its entirety. I think I started it on
No,
stream, did
no,
a
go
couple more
ahead, get
streams
some
for it, and then
subs.
just
Yeah,
kind of played it for
go
myself
ahead,
to
bro.
kind of finish it
No
through.
way the controller's dead.
This
No, both
this
my
definitely
controllers are dead.
fit
What
the
is
Souls-like
happening
genre
right
to a
now?
T.
Hold on.
I did have fun with it, even if I, some would say I cheated, but I used something that was in the game,
Or hit
so
somebody with a
I
sweet
feel like I'm
like
good,
4 Zelda. That's what happened.
But I got a couple pros, I
Oh
got a
no,
couple
BeeRye,
cons,
this
just in
ain't the
usual
story of the
fashion.
game.
So of course,
Still the best controller hard
get yourself ready, grab you some snacks real quick, and
Gotcha.
let's talk about it while you enjoy me play through the game. We'll see a couple
Realize
boss
said that's a
highlights, and
four-star scam
you know
combo.
how I
Say
go.
Oh
less.
Another
yeah, I do
crab's
remember that was
treasure
the premise of the
focuses on
game. All I
Krill the
had to do
shrimp,
is go
who's a
get my
hermit
shells
crab
back and
whose
break my
whole
ticket,
life
right?
changed
You
after he was
remember that
exposed
part.
to the harsh realities of the
Niggas
real
randomly
world
snatched
and
my
has to
home
fight his
base
way
with that
through this
shit.
world to get his home back after being told he owes taxes.
Hey,
Along
hold
this
on.
journey, he makes new friends,
That's
he
all I
fights
remember the
major
premise of
enemies,
the game
corrupt
being.
CEOs, and even exposes
So
himself to the
don't go
realities of
spoiling
the
nothing.
world
We
outside of
go
the
we
beach.
go into this shit raw, okay? Don't you
This
go spoiling
was
nothing. Shut the hell
definitely
up.
something that I wasn't expecting from what you
Hold on,
see
I'm
as
coming
far
down. I
as
got
the
one second.
artwork in the trailer. Of course, because it's a
No.
Souls like,
Oh,
they
so
have
I'll
to
be like,
have
use a
some sort
hand
of seriousness to it. But
Correct.
I think they did it in a way that was
What?
honestly very, very, very
I have an
relatable.
inbox. Why are you
I
talking to me
enjoyed a
through other
lot of
people? That's the
about
quickest
this
way to piss
game.
me off.
I have a ton of I have a ton of pros, and
Hey
not too
BeeRye.
many cons. This is another banger. This will definitely be
Hey
another
man,
one that
tell
will be
DJ.
rated high amongst my royal
Uh,
archives. So
Trust
let's take a look at some of
don't.
those.
I just removed 95 people on Facebook in the last 20 minutes.
Okay, starting off with some of my pros. The very first one that I think of is just the overall story.
suspicious.
I do know that I'm guilty in most Souls games of not actually paying attention to the intro. Something always happens, especially because I'm usually live when I'm playing them. Where I'm just not paying attention. I'm addressing chat, we talking, we yapping, and I missed the whole intro. I won't pretend like I paid attention to every second of this story, but I do feel like a lot of the dialogue was easier to follow. It also felt really relatable because Krill is just being exposed to a lot of the different things that are happening in the world. He just he's just mad confused. Nothing's making sense, and I felt that. I felt that on a cellular level. I was just as confused as him most of this playthrough. I really liked a lot of the artwork that this game came to bring too, because of the Souls genre being so typically a something where it's dark, it's gloomy, there's shadows and despair everywhere. I think that this game did a really good job at still showing those points in the game while also still giving it a bright and kind of more welcoming, I guess, artwork style. It kind of somebody I think made the joke of it having like Fortnite Dark Souls, and I think that's kind of accurate, honestly. If we're being completely honest, this felt like a Fortnite Dark Souls run. Since we're about to start a boss fight here in the game, in the video here, let me go ahead and let's start talking about the combat.
Trying not to be nasty,
Um,
bro.
just like any Souls game, you are never fighting just one mob of enemies at all times. They definitely had a good variety of enemies and enemy typings. Just like any Souls games, of course, you had your simple strength, dex, and magic styles when it came to the different enemy types, and that also vice versa applied to you as well. So definitely tons of different ways that you could play the game, depending on what your style was. But I think it still hit the big three as far as the Souls genre goes. I'm going to compare this in a Souls-like fashion very heavily, and it's just because that's what it is. If don't start giving me grief trying to call this game not a Souls game, okay? Yes, obviously it's not a firm soft game, but neither is Lies of P or any of those other third party games, okay? And I'll be talking about those ones, so just leave me alone.
Oh no! No! No, please!
Getting back into the bosses though, couple things that I liked about the bosses.
No
One,
way!
just as difficult, like I say, just as difficult as
Bro,
any standard mob fight that you would have when you were in a Souls like. Definitely will have still a ton of death clips and things like that. just because of the struggles that I had throughout the game. Now the game does offer a assist mode where they do things really silly, like make timing windows slower and more icons as far as damages go. One of my favorites and easily the MVP that saved me was giving Krill a gun. I just, after having to play through so many Souls games, the fact that I could just sit here and keep this gun on me and just press square and delete literally everything on the planet, turn me up. I was turned up. Um, I had to go back and watch and like listen for what the track was, because I was always going through so many bosses so fast with the gun. But a lot of the bosses had really good soundtracks too. Had this little funky beat that started. I was like, okay, aggro crab, give me something. I was turned up. Oh! I forgot the best part. The best part about all of those boss fights: no run back. Oh my god, how many times have you been in the middle of a Souls game, you get to that boss, the bonfire's all the way in East Jabumblefuck, and you gotta run through hell and back to get through it? I'm doing it right now. Or no, I did it already in Dark Souls 3, but the rotted greatwood that I needed to fight. That run back, cheeks. Oh, that was so lame. So lame. But we did it, and I beat that boss too. But here, nah, man, you just die. You just drop you in a little jellyfish right there. Your souls be right there. Everything cool, man. It's just another thing that made the game. It just made me feel good, you know. My last couple notes for pros are going to be the fact that you had a lot of customization from the different styles of shells that you could get. Yes, I know I spent a lot of my time with the gun, but there were some other really cool ones. You could just sit there and there were bottle caps and shotgun shells and mystical shells and shoes and Lego bricks, and it was a ton of them. I was shocked at it. I think it was like over 60. I didn't even find them all. And I'm not that much of a completionist where I'm going to try to find them all. I'll go look at a video and go, oh, okay, that's cool, and kind of go about my day just because I'm lazy. All right, lazy. Okay, modern gamer, not a try hard, guys. Not a try hard. Okay. Now, just because I had a lot of positives to talk about the game does not mean that the game was totally perfect. I definitely still had, it's really only two, but I'm going to talk about them in depth a little bit here. So my very first note is about the traversal slash platforming. And of course, in Souls games, when have there ever been good traversal and platforming? Hell, Elden Ring, even though you had the ability to jump, still was difficult when it came to a lot of those platformings. You try to do that madness ending, and you got to go down all those little platformings. Oh my god, I ain't never been so stressed in my life. So the traversal for the game definitely still kind of annoyed me a lot. There were definitely moments where I wish I could, or I mean, I can jump, and you can even swim. If I can swim, why can't I swim upward to get to the top of this ledge? Why I got to do all this extra traversal? What happened to it being water everywhere? I, it, I'm nitpicking. I'm sure I'm nitpicking, right? You know, because at the end of the day, like I say, most Souls games don't have really great platforming. But like, damn, man, can somebody make a Souls game with good platforming so I can actually enjoy that part of it? Because they just keep putting it in the game. So if that's if gravity is really the true enemy of Dark Souls, then fine, I'll let it be. But somebody get him out of here. Ref, he's cheating. Send help. I also know that I talked about how the assist mode was a little bit of the MVP for my run, but I do feel like there were a couple things that might have been maybe made it a little too easy. The fact that the gun mode really did just literally one shot every boss. I kind of wish that as you got to like some of the endings, especially like the final boss, I feel like a funnier interaction would have been if he had a way to like didn't get one shot by it, or maybe like he took maybe like minimal damage or something like that for it. I just wish there was like some sort of way where there wasn't a complete assist like that. But I also it's a double-sided coin. There were good things to assist mode, and then there were bad. And then I think maybe it might have held your hand maybe a little bit too much. It's kind of meh. I definitely, like I say, because you'll see it. There's a couple bosses I try to fight, all smoothly, and there's moments where I don't have the gun on me, so I have to I gotta get I gotta go ahead and rack out my skills. So I was still making sure that I was leveling up and everything, because I can't, I couldn't be out there lacking. I still had to make sure I was doing damage. So we were still upgrading stats and still moving along the way. But if it wasn't for that gun, I don't know how far we'd have got. I'm not gonna lie. I just wanted to see the game to the end though, and I was just like, you know what? I'm already about to go and stress myself out with another Souls playthrough. Um, I might as well go ahead and enjoy a little fun while I do it, right? I know I brought it up a couple times, but in case you don't know, just a little sidebar, a little soft plug. Y'all know I don't just be on this app. I'm over on Twitch too, and on Thursdays we do my Dark Souls run. I do think that day is going to change because my work schedule is going to change a little bit, but I'm still going to finish my Dark Souls 3 run because I got to beat all these Souls games because Twitch community said I got to do it. So, if you haven't hit the link in the description, and it's in the description, I don't know why you be acting like you don't see it. You can get all my other platforms, so make sure you go check me out and follow all those other platforms too. Unless you hate me, and then, I understand, I guess. To wrap things up here, man, I'm going to give Another Crab's Treasure a 9 out of 10. This was a fantastic game. I had a lot of fun with the game, even if most of it was with the gun. For an independent studio to create something like this, they kind of deserve a pat on the back, y'all. And the accolades that came along with it, I'm sure, were definitely well fought for. I know the studio is working on new projects, and I hope they experience the same success. Shout out to Aggro Crab. I hope, again, many successes to you and your team. Looking forward to what other projects you do. I low key want to play Peak. I gotta find out if I can play that on console. But I kind of want to try Peak out. So who knows if they did a good job with this, I'm sure Peak is just as fun. But have you played Aggro Crab? Are you looking to play Aggro Crab now that I've given you this recommendation from my Royal Archives? Let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about some of your pros, your cons. I'm gonna leave a little more B-roll footage of this. I think this is like the second or third boss fight to the end, I believe. But it was a tough one, so I'm gonna leave it in there because I was struggling a little bit. I was stressed. This has been the Royal Archives. I appreciate you stepping in. I appreciate you kicking it with your boys always. And until the next time, peace, love, and hair grease. I'm out of here.